Hello. Uh, I am a targeted individual living in Burbank and also Bakersfield. Um, in the near future, I will be going public, um, and I will be showing you videos and evidence of how targeted individuals are harassed in groups. Uh, I have, I will upload videos, show you evidence how this happens. I've been reading up on this, I would say, in the last maybe 5 years, but I have been going through this um, ever since 1992, or maybe even before that. I'm having issues with my thyroid. I'm having, I'm under stress from the, all this harassment and stalking that's been going on in my life. And from the from the videos I have been watching, I have I have made note that some of these targeted individuals are just brand new, and they've been only suffering for 5 years. I have been suffering with this for, I would say, 26 years. Before targeted individuals became popular and was introduced to the public, and it's pretty much a well-known crisis in the United States of America. I'm pretty sure this has gone on in other third world countries, uh, probably even worse. But here in the United States, this does happen, um, but it happens in pretty much, it's a little show that goes on. Supposedly, in the United States, we're supposed to be free. There's freedom of speech. They're supposed to be pretty much free, but um, I I hate to sound unpatriotic, and that's not true. But the truth is that there is no more freedoms in the United States. Our rights are being taken away. Our human rights are being violated. Uh, if you haven't noticed, it will be coming soon. Um, I was I was talking about microwave weapon and harassment. I would say around that time, before the year 2000, I was talking about it, and people were accusing me of being a little bit off. But if uh, if you notice, if you look in your history, you end up finding that the Russians were shooting microwave weapons at the embassy in Russia, at the United States embassy in Russia, and more recently, this this crisis became more public when the U.S. embassy was attacked in Cuba. And the people at that time, or excuse me, the people in that crisis were complaining of headaches, problems with their brain, their balance, feeling hot, the skin feeling hot. All that was harassment. But those people were not called crazy, or they were not labeled insane or 5150. Of course, they work for the government, and you know, people heard him out, and that crisis hopefully was resolved. But they weren't ostracized uh, like others before that time, or even now. Maybe because they work for the government. Um, and then after that, there was another attack of microwave weapons and harassment in the U.S. Embassy in Uzbekistan. So I guess with these most recent situations, they kind of figured, it was the Russians who were behind it all. I don't know if that's true. Um, I don't hate Russians. I'm I'm not anti-Russian. I'm not anti-American, but I like to say the truth, and I like to um, figure out what's going on in this world and what's going on in our lives, and what's going on with society. Um, I've I listen to I listen to uh, stuff on YouTube and on the internet, and I I kind of I've I was listening to them going through the signs and symptoms of being attacked with microwave weapons. That's just one aspect. The other aspect is the group stalking, um, the harassment. Uh, it's all a big show. It's orchestrated. It's planned out well, um, and I know I've been suffering with this ever since 1992. Bits and pieces here and there, not all constant, except for recently. It has gotten worse. Only, I guess, only because I've been fighting back. Not physically, but I'm taking videos. I'm writing down license plate. I'm writing down evidence. I'm writing down witnesses. I'm logging in witnesses, uh, and pretty much I have a journal and documenting everything that happens to my life from when I wake up to the end of the day. I have three jobs. It's kind of hard to incorporate all that, doing all that work and also documenting. But it's a survival. I need to do it, and I have been doing it, and it's actually it helps me out a lot. I don't know if it's a personal catharsis to do that, but I'm pretty sure going public with this and letting your friends, your coworkers know, and your family know what's going on. Even if it helps any, letting the police know. I don't know if that might help. It might actually sometimes it kind of has that counter effect, unless you have evidence and witnesses, which I do have. And I'm pretty sure in the near future I'll be posting more evidence, and I will be posting videos, and I'll give you little, maybe tips, and I'll show you scenarios of what has happened in my life recently and also in my past, where you can pretty much fill in the puzzle, and you'll end up finding out that when you look back and you start analyzing your life and what's going on, uh, you'll figure out that that's what this is. Uh, I've been targeted, basically, I think because I speak out a lot. Uh, I at one point I was, I'm very vocal. I was I was brought into this world, and I learned that here we're living in America. You have to fight for your rights, human right violations. You have to, and then I noticed something. That's why I say it, in America, it seems like we're not free anymore. For that reason, that they say that you can, you have a right to protest, you have a free speech, but I'm sorry, I hate to say it, that doesn't exist here in this country. Because when you do that, you end up being marked. You get a black mark. You're followed around. You're put on a hit list. Pretty much like I read on the internet, and I saw on the internet, where people who were protesting in the 70s, I'm not saying the FBI is bad, the government bad, but it's a big group, and not everybody is clean. You have maybe one or two, three rogue government employees that can pretty much run wild with this, abuse their privileges, abuse their status, and actually torment a free citizen, someone who's never had a criminal record, but yet they're able to, attack them. Obviously, they're not going to attack them, you know, out in public and make it really obvious, but they do it little by little.